Hi everyone. So let's turn this down. Okay, so this is a bit of a sort of an impromptu live, but I just thought I would go live. I've got a half an hour free here to run over Stand By Me on the ukulele. So hopefully you can hear me okay and everything's coming through clearly. And normally I would share the screen when this, but because we're on YouTube, I won't be able to. But you can download the PDF for this after the live. So if you want a copy of that, put a comment under the video below and I can send you through the link to download the PDF. So let me just make sure you can see me okay. Hopefully you can clearly see the chords and stuff I'm playing. So what we've got in this song then, basically, you may or may not have attempted this one before. 4 chords, a G. So we've got a sort of a triangular shape. If you haven't done G before, it's string 3 fret 2, string 1 fret 2, and string 2 fret 3. And the great thing, as you may already know if you play ukulele, is that you can, awful lot of chords you can strum more than guitar. You've got strings you can't hit ukulele. In this song anyway, we're just strumming all the 4 strings. So by the way, this is a concert, or sorry, a tenor ukulele, this one, and I sort of upgraded my ukulele a while, but I think it was last year before, maybe 2 years ago. Can't remember, but I just wanted that slightly bigger size. But anyway, we'll get into it. Right, so you've got the G chord. We're going to use an easy E minor. There's a couple of ways to do an E minor. You can actually have an easier version of it and have string 1 fret 2 and string 3 fret 4 and leave the second string open. But I would advise you, if you can get an E minor going, try and get that shape down, and then eventually that one, and then that's movable. All right, so that can become that, and then you can move that up. So another song, if you needed, for example, F sharp minor, you'll have that. But we're going to use the easy one, or the easier one, so we'll say that. And then we've got a C chord. We keep this really simple. 3rd finger, string 1 fret 3. And then the last chord, D, is a bit awkward. Some people like to play it that way. 2nd, 3rd, 4th. Some people like to play it 1st, 2nd, 3rd. If you've got anyway sort of big fingers, it's quite tricky on the uke, squeezing everything in. So if we use 2nd, 3rd, 4th, we could have a wee bit more room, a little bit more room there for that string 1, which you need. Okay, so the rhythm in this is going to be what some people call the island strum. I've heard it called a folk strum. So it's down, down, up, up, down, up. Now, one thing I would say when you're doing this rhythm, if you're going to count it, it's quite difficult on the counting end of it, because B3 is counted but not played. So what I mean is, if I was counting it 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and so I would say the 3, but the actual strum is ringing from the half beat before it, right? So that causes some confusion when you're counting it. What I would suggest is, if you can get the feel of the rhythm, try and not count it first and see how that goes. That would be right. So I just did down, down, up, up, down, up. So it's this sort of relaxed swing that really works. One thing that comes up with this rhythm, watch out for this, is rushing the ups. This kind of thing. Everything has to be relaxed and nice and smooth. We don't want anything rushed, because if we rush it, it's going to be a bit of a mess. So I'm going to run through the rhythm really gently, and then I'm going to bring in a rec strum after this, which is another way to spice up a basic rhythm. So we've got the G. So we've got 2 G's, 2 E minors, 1 C, 2 D's, or sorry, 1 D, back to G. Right, so if you're doing the John Lennon and you wanted to play the John Lennon version, I think he's actually capo 1 fret 2 and he's playing in A. So you can put a capo 1 and play this 2 frets up. I'm not sure what the Benny King one is. I think it's maybe in G. You could check that out and see what key it's in, but this is a really easy way to play it. So what we've got then is we're keeping that rhythm going. So when it comes in, then we've got when the night is gone. So you got that going. The E minor, then the C, then the D. Now you notice something. I was kind of getting a rake strum on the ukulele. It's quite handy doing this. You can do it with your left hand and let it control the chord either ringing or not ringing. Or we can cut off the rake on the right hand. Now, so what I'm doing there is strumming the G. Sorry, what I'm doing is putting a rake in on the second strum, by the way. So we've got down, down, up, up, down, up. So we're going to put the rake in on strum 2. So it's down, rake, up, down, up, E minor. So again. Then the C. Then the D. Then the G, back to G. Now, as I say, you can control the fingers. Obviously, you can control the fingers or the strings that your fingers are on, but you obviously can't control the strings that are ringing by themselves. Which in this case, if you're playing on the uke, as I said earlier, you've got a bit more freedom than you have on the guitar. Some chords guitar, you're a bit limited. So we can't control string, but the rake on the rhythm hand does control the whole lot if you want to play it that way. Now, to show you what's happening here. Raking is quite complicated. So what happens is a split second before you strum, this part of the palm of your hand comes down and we get that sort of clicking sound. So that's really what's happening. So it's really down, palm goes down, strum. And we get that sound. Down, palm goes down, strum. Palm goes down, strum. Now, that will really make things really slow, right? When your rhythm isn't going to be all tight and all together when you're doing that, when you're first learning this. But what happens is you shorten the time that your hand lands and when the strum comes in to becomes almost one action. So you get. Now it's not easy to get the hang of. When I'm teaching this in lessons to my students, they do find it quite difficult, and I found it difficult when I was learning it all those years ago. But when I got the hang of it, I really liked it because then you can take a basic rhythm. You can do it with something like what would be good? Proud Mary would be. I think it's no, it's D. So that would be. No, it's A. So it's totally versatile. You can bring it into loads of things. You can do this rhythm with a down, rake, up, rake, up, which is another way to do it. And the way I'm playing that, I'm thinking of releasing the chord sort of at the end. So it's like strum, rake, up, strum. So all different ways to do it. It makes it more percussive sounding. So we can also add something in if I can remember what way it would work. So okay, so on the guitar we could use string 6 for a bass note rundown. Now a lot of this stuff isn't on the PDF, but I'm sort of showing you this now, hoping you can get the hang of it. So what I'm going to do here between the G is just vary the chord. So this chord that I'm changing is a 2-finger chord, string 3 fret 2, string 2 fret 2. Right, and then we're going into E minor. So when I'm playing this on guitar, I kind of play the G chord guitar, something like that, and then use this bass walk down on the verses to connect the G to the E minor. All right, so I would go. And it gives you a sort of a similar sound on the uke, and then your usual C. So there's loads of things you can do with it, so it just shows you there how rhythms are versatile. Now, you probably heard me mention on the channel, and then if you're ready and to get playing guitar or ukulele groups about the program that's on the go at the minute. These are the kind of things I'm teaching in the program, these essential skills that you really need in order to bring your ukulele playing forward, if you're stuck in a rut and you're not getting anywhere, what you need, instead of going on YouTube and hunting through loads of videos and hoping to get lucky and find the one that you need, what you need is somebody to guide you and a process that guides you. And as I was thinking about it today, that accountability aspect of things. So if you were playing this song, for example, and this rake was giving you major trouble, and you were following some sort of lesson or something where you get no feedback, you're not going to get that sorted out by hunting for another video or another solution online. What's going to sort it out is the tutor teaching you what you're doing wrong. And it's easy to make mistakes in this, because I found this one quite tricky, getting this rake thing going when I was learning. Of course, the days I was playing guitar at that stage, but the principle's the same and the technique's the same in how you do it. So if you're thinking about really getting your ukulele playing or guitar playing, if you're watching the channel to play guitar and you're fed up being stuck where you are right now and want to get some movement, comment below this video and I'll reach out to you and we can have a chat and I'll explain how it all works and how I can help you move forward. And we can see if you're a good fit for the program. You may not be, you might be further on, it may not be suitable. I would assume it probably is if you're a beginner. And then we can have a chat and we can take it further and see where we go from there. But in the meantime, one more thing I wanted to mention about this G and the technique of this raking thing. You can cut the chords off on the chord hand. So it doesn't sound just as good, but and what I'm doing here is bringing the chord sort of down and loosening it and putting it back on again. You can see my fingers doing this kind of thing. It's not, to be honest, an easy technique. The C is going to be really tricky because we have open strings in it. So I'm going to have to put other fingers on to block it. If you're able to play bar chords, you could do your C like that. Then you've got control because we're pressing down and releasing. The really great thing about bar chords is you've got the freedom because you can just press the chord whenever you need it. So if we had, we've got more control with open chords and open strings. You don't. Now I don't want to jump and get too complicated with this. The idea of it is basically what I want you to be able to do is to play the down, down, up, down, up rhythm. You put all the fancy stuff in later. So quick run through again. This is one of these 4 chord songs. It doesn't change the whole way through. This rhythm, as I say, is really popular. It's how you treat the rhythm when it comes to the chorus and different sections that spices it up and makes it more interesting for you and whoever's listening. So you've got the G. So I'm going to take the rakes out of it and do it straight. Right, so the G again, string 3, string 1, string 2, so fret 2, 2, third finger on the 3rd fret. So we're going to go down, down, up, down, up, E minor. Tricky chord change there on that bit. C, D, back to G. Alright, so E minor again. So one thing you may or may not know about rhythm is dynamics and what you can do with stuff to really spice it up. Now you noticed there I was kind of getting this sort of flicking sound on the pick, which gives you your chord a different. I'm making a point of going down the strings on beat 2. Why am I doing it on, or strum 2, I suppose you could say, because it's quite common to add things in on the 2nd strum. Of course, it all depends on the rhythm, but there are loads of things you can do with this. But if you can get the down, down, up rhythm going, great. If you can't, pop a comment down below and I'll try and help you with it and see if we can sort out why, maybe. Usually the best way to do that is to have a chat and then we can see what issues you're having. But if you prefer, maybe we could just watch the video back, I would say, and just keep an eye on what I'm doing. The main thing I would say is, think of your arm naturally swinging. I'm trying to just let it ring. So remember your hand has to come up. to go back down again. We're just using that up in between. So if we're not holding the chord, you could just lightly press on the strings. Down, down, up, down, up. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4. One more thing before I go. You could tap your foot, tap the uke body, same for guitar, because it's exactly the same principle. If you're watching this and you don't play ukulele, you play guitar, it's the same 4 chords, it's the same rhythm I use. I always teach it this way, is to tap or do something on beat 3 that stops you from hitting those strings. So if we go, anything, or tap your foot, you could go down, down, up, tap, up, down, up, tap, up, down, and that will really help you stop, or I'm sorry, I should say help you not hit the strings on beat 3. One more thing you could do with it, down, down, up, and then up, down, up. Divide it in half, try that. There's all different things I would use. If we were working together, I would be getting to the bottom of why this rhythm isn't working and trying things out specific to your, tailoring it to your abilities or non-abilities or whatever's happening with your rhythm. We would look at it and go, everybody has different issues, but generally there's certain things come up all the time in this, and some of it is, 99% of it is the double up knocks everybody off. But it's so important to get that down, because it opens the door to all the fancy stuff later on that you can you get that foundation, you can open it up. Songs like let's see, as I said there earlier about Proud Mary, if you were trying to do Wonderwall or something on Oasis, something with loads and loads of ups in it, it's going to be really difficult if you don't have that solid foundation at the start. Okay, so I hope you found that useful. As I say, if you want a copy of the PDF, comment below and I will get the link organized and you can download the PDF. If you're wanting some info on the Get Playing Accelerated Ukulele program or the guitar program, both are up and running and people are really enjoying it and starting to get somewhere with it all. Pop a comment in below, just mention program, and I will send you a private message and you can have a chat and see where your playing is right now, and more detail I have, the more I can help you out with your playing. Thanks very much, by the way, for supporting the channel. I'm trying to build the channel up. I know I haven't been on much this past few months. There's been an awful lot going on. I'm trying to keep things moving and hopefully get a chance for more live lessons and stuff as time goes by. Okay, but in the meantime, I hope you've enjoyed that. You can watch it back and try and get some tips from it if it's all went past really quickly, which it has. All right, okay, so thank you for watching and see you again soon.